That's EH Plus. A matchmaker will learn all about you and handpick your matches. If you're ready to find love, get started at ehplus.com.
AM 1300 WMEL.
The Monday forecast has a 20% chance of rain and a high of 86. Tonight's low 68 with a 20% chance of rain. Tuesday's high 77 with an 80% chance of rain into the evening. Wednesday has a 60% chance of rain, will be much cooler with a high of just 66. The Thanksgiving forecast has a high of 65 and a low of 50 with plenty of sun. The Magic play LeBron James and the Cavaliers tonight at 7 on your home for the Magic, AM 1300 WMEL.
This is the best in talk radio. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
I am doing my best to help your wealth be unequal. I want you to be part of the problem with wealth inequality. I want to make you wealthy. I want to show you how to handle money so you can become vastly wealthy, completely change your family tree, and give money and help others like nobody's business. I want you to be the problem. When people are griping about wealth inequality, I want them to see your face. That's my goal.
It's Dave Ramsey, 2 to 5 p.m. weekdays on AM 1300 WMEL.
What are you doing, Gene?
Well, Jay, I was just about to tell everyone about our show, Speak Out, Listen In, every Wednesday from noon to 1, and our great lineup of guests.
Tell them that we have community leaders, experts, and professionals who share their expertise on business, employment, wellness, and real estate, too.
Yes, I should tell them to tune in and join me, Gene Newell, and you, Jay Brewer, for an informative and entertaining hour.
I think you just did. Join us every Wednesday from noon to 1 for Speak Out, Listen In, right here on AM 1300 WMEL.
Hi, this is Jean Newell with Speak Out, Listen In, with a special thank you to all of the Hometown News readers who voted AM 1300 WMEL their favorite local talk and news station here in Brevard County. Congratulations to John Harper, the WMEL staff, and show hosts for their continued community support and service.
AM 1300 WMEL.
The views expressed on the following program are those of the hosts, callers, and guests, and are not necessarily those of WMEL staff, management, or advertisers.
Hey, it's 7 minutes past 1 o'clock, and yes, you're hearing right. Correctly, that is. It's Wayne Weston here on a Monday afternoon. Is it really Monday? And I've got Laureen Trent in here with me. And you know what, Laureen, we're going to be talking about money today, right?
That's right. We're talking about Money Monday. Wayne, it is great to have you back in the studio. Welcome back, Wayne.
I thank you so much, and good to be working with you. And your cash ain't nothing but trash.
Your cash ain't nothing but trash. What a great song, Wayne.
If you want to listen to WMEL, it's absolutely free. It doesn't cost you a dime. If you try to spend your money in here today, your cash ain't nothing but trash.
Well, we're all going to go into that today and a few other things. And welcome, listeners. This is Laureen Trent, the Laureen Trent Show, and I'm glad to be back. I'm here every Monday at 1 o'clock, and I have Wayne West in the studio with me today. I am pleased, and we've got a great show coming up for Monday. I'm here to tell you everything from politics to real estate. I'm going to keep it short today because we're going to try to save some time on that intro. And if the listeners were listening last week, my guest was Leslie Michael, who is an author, self-made entrepreneur, businessman, dabbles in private equity. I can't even tell you how many different things that Leslie is, but he's awesome with money, and he is also part of the Trent Realty family. And for those who didn't listen last week, if the podcast is out, if not, we'll go into a little bit about that. His recent book, Money Uncensored, cuts through the financial noise and exposes real issues facing North Americans. Leslie, are you there? Welcome to the Laureen Trent Show today. Welcome back.
Thank you very much, and nice to meet you, Wayne.
Oh, glad to meet you. And by the way, Leslie, I needed to give you a more prophetic intro here, a little bit more dramatic. There he is. That is Leslie Michael. Welcome to WMEL.
Wow, that's so much sexier than your cash ain't nothing but trash.
Yeah. Well, I brought that up only because when you listen to WMEL AM 1300, it doesn't cost you a dime. It's totally free and fun.
That's right.
Your cash is nothing but trash if you try to spend it here. And we are talking about money.
And probably because some people that maybe don't spend their money right or don't know, their cash can turn into trash.
Yeah, that's definitely true. That's actually a line from Robert Kiyosaki. Robert uses that line the Rich Dad guy. When he and Michael Maloney got together when they did the Rich Dad series and they wrote the book Rich Dad's Advisor's Guide to Investing in Gold and Silver, which is one of 3 books they always recommend people read. When they do their live talks, Robert Kiyosaki is always like, your cash is trash. And so when I heard it, who sings that song?
Steve Miller Band.
Steve Miller?
Yeah, Steve Miller.
Okay, I've seen Steve Miller twice, and I've never heard him sing that song.
That's a classic there. Steve Miller, it's off the Joker album.
And you know what? I never heard that one before either. And I was like...
I dig up the moldy oldies here from the WMEL
vault.
Well,
Wayne's been
clearly,
on radio
I am here to learn from you guys today, because that was amazing. Thank you for letting me know, because I'm going to go find that copy of that song.
Well, let me tell you, we have a lot of listeners because we want to hear about money. And I know last week you gave us the 10 dangers and how money is created. I got a lot of calls and emails today, Leslie, on, that famous speech there with Bernanke about...
Oh, with Ron Paul?
Yeah, is gold money. And, and Bernanke was kind of quivering his lips. So...
I remember that. That was quite funny.
That was quite funny. So, we're going to want to get your advice on, how you feel about that. We also would wanted to go over a few other things, like I think we're going to go over how to pay off your house in half the time, and how to become your own self-financer.
Yeah, you have to use that term real carefully here. When I wrote the book, Become Your Own Banker, I didn't write the book. When I wrote a chapter on that based on Nelson Nash's book, Becoming Your Own Banker, I know there's legislation coming online saying you can't use the word banker, even though, it's not really a bank. So I'm trying to say the word self-financing and all sort of stuff, but if you hear the word bank slip in there, I apologize.
That's all right. That's all right. I remember reading that, too. So self-financer equals banker. So there you go.
Yeah.
for radio today, we'll just use self-financer.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about all of those things. Maybe I'll just I'll say one thing about the whole Ben Bernanke and Ron Paul thing. And this is going back to one of the dangers from last week, danger number 6, which I never had a chance to really talk about, which is beware of good billionaires. They can ruin the economy or disrupt the economy by doing the responsible thing. And I always use the example of what if Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett, decided to invest 2%. Remember, he's a value investor. And if he decided to invest 2% of his holdings of Berkshire Hathaway into physical silver, I think he might actually cause some serious disruptions in the precious metal markets. I'm an acquaintance of David Morgan, who does the Morgan Report. He's a silver investor, and he and another guy got together and started charting the silver ETFs and gold money and Sprott Physical Silver Trust, and they went through all the major bullion vault holdings, like the London Bullion Vault, all those groups out there. And when they did the numbers, they realized that they had 900 million ounces of silver, investment grade silver. But there are 7 billion of us out there. So that's less than an ounce of silver that's available for every single person on the planet. So sometimes you want to be early for the party than late for the party. And so that's one of the things I wanted to bring up in regards to precious metals.
Well, you know what? We wanted, and that was really interesting because that's something I didn't know, and we're all interested because you hear so many stories. Wayne has a clip. He's going to play a little bit of that clip from that day.
Yeah, you made me think of it, Leslie.
Yeah.
And you too,
okay.
Lori, when you talked about is gold really money? Are you kidding me?
Do you think gold is money?
No.
It's not money. Even if it has been money for 6,000 years, somebody reversed that and eliminated that economic law.
Well, it's an asset. I mean, it's the same. Would you say Treasury bills are money? I don't think they're money either, but they're financial assets.
Why do central banks hold it?
Well, it's a form of
money.
reserves.
So why don't they hold diamonds?
Well, it's tradition, long-term tradition.
Some people still think it's money. I yield back. My time is up. Thank you.
Wayne, that was good.
I don't understand this guy. Is gold's not money? Well, good. Give me a few pounds. I'll take it.
Could you give us a little insight, Leslie, to the reasoning behind that day? Just for my own self-question. I mean...
Sure. By the way, I want to say something before I get there, and that is, for anyone who's listening here, you don't have to believe a word I say. I can only speak to you from my own experiences and research. That doesn't make me right, and it doesn't make me wrong, and it doesn't make me a good person or a bad person. It just means I'm speaking to you what I've experienced. And so if the things I say to you, if they resonate with you, I invite you to investigate them further. And if they don't resonate with you, you're welcome to disregard anything I say. So I just wanted to put that out there. But let's talk about Ben Bernanke for a second. Ben Bernanke, I've never read his book, and the information I'm telling you is secondhand from Michael Maloney, who's another great economist. Mike went and started looking at all these people's books in regards to what they talked about in regards to monetary policies and their philosophies. Ben Bernanke, he studied the Great Depression after the Depression had happened, and you'll notice that with his policies in regards to how he just, people call him Helicopter Ben Bernanke because, his idea was to basically just cover, paper all the problems out. And he basically figures that during the Great Depression, if they had printed more money, they would have gotten out of it faster. He studies the Great Depression in regards to what would happen after it, but he didn't really talk about what happened before it. And so that's maybe a little bit about what's going behind Ben Bernanke's mind. Now, mind you, I'm not Ben Bernanke, and I've never met him, so he may have a different opinion. So I'm just basing it on what other people have looked into his research have said about him.
That's very interesting because, you always wonder about, gold is money, and, to me, and silver is money. If the dollar goes under, I don't think that a piece of paper is going to buy a loaf of bread, maybe a dime, a silver dime or something. But I just think he nailed him on that one. And but let's get into here North Americans and our money and how we could be protected. And your advice on for instance, how to be your own, how to pay off your house in half the time, how to have guaranteed return on your money.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Oh,
Wayne.
and by the way,
Go.
Laureen, I'm sorry to interrupt, and you too, Leslie, but for our listeners, if you're hearing a beeping sound in the background while Leslie is speaking on the telephone, it's the trouble is not in your set. It's not in your radio, as the guy on the Outer Limits used to say. I think it's just a connection somehow. We're getting sounds like Morse code. It's probably the NSA. They're listening in on your program, so let's be sharp.
That's fine. If the NSA is listening, I hope they learn something anyway.
Who's the NSA? The
National Security Agency.
Oh,
It's
okay.
the Obama regime's, that's their branch of government that listens in on our conversation. But that's okay. Go right ahead.
Yeah, okay, well, maybe.
Oh, I am not even going to touch that. Okay. When I used to be a financial strategist, and when I talk to people, and when I work with other financial planners, one of the things we need to educate everybody is that you need to protect yourself from massive deflation and massive inflation. And that usually means, when it comes to deflation, that means you want to have currency. So I'm not against a fiat currency system, by the way. I'm against irresponsibility, and I do believe that the monetary policies of the Federal Reserve, as they are right now, have been a little bit reckless and irresponsible. However, my opinion can change. I'm not so rigid in my opinion. If someone has something better to offer, I'm more than welcome to listen. You're more than welcome to try and change my mind. So deflation and inflation. So there are two rules of a debt-based currency system, and this is so important for people to understand. Number one rule, it is impossible to pay off the national debt. It is not designed to be paid off. You think about it. If every dollar is promised into existence and there is interest on that dollar, and every dollar we create from all our car purchases and mortgages and loans and credit cards has interest on it, then that means that there is actually more interest out there than there is dollars to pay off that interest. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
And it wouldn't have usually have made sense to me maybe 8 years ago until I started wondering with all this inflation and deflation